Good morning. So this is for Unit 4B on advanced obligation and permission patterns in documentation. We learned how to use be supposed to, be expected to, be obligated to, be mandated to, accountable for, essential to, have no choice to, and be obliged to. Now, like we discussed in our lesson on Thursday, the purpose of this video is to help you look at or listen to how I intone a request in English using modal verbs and without them as well. The structures you're already aware of, so I don't need to get into them again. Let me begin with the first example that I made here. So now pretend that you're working on maybe one of the SOPs, or you're getting ready for an inspection or for an audit. And so you're working with one of your colleagues in your company, in your team. And normally, maybe let's say you just begin the meeting online with, a Zoom meeting or Teams meeting. And you want to say hi to someone. Maybe your colleague's fake name is Lucas. So I would say, hey, good morning, Lucas. Lucas, the team was supposed to record each documentation update in the system, but several entries were missed during the audit week. And so I would kind of pace it down like this, just to send it into deliver it in a more friendly way. Let me say it again. Good morning, Lucas. The team was supposed to record each documentation update in the system, but several entries were missed during the audit week. Now, we learned the passive voice in the previous units. Here, we don't say by you or your team, we make it passive. This removes pressure and removes psychological pressure as well on our teammates. Now let's look at the second one with be expected to. Again, be expected to plus the main verb. Last time we had the lesson, you had forgotten the be. So let's look at this example. Hey, hi, good morning, good afternoon. The choice is completely up to you. I'm going to go with hey, because it sounds more natural to me. Hey, Stefan, thanks for the update. You're expected to finalize all deviation summaries before QA review, so could you please prioritize those today? Now, this one can come off quite strong, but I know you work with teammates and you have regular meetings, so maybe we can modify this part a little bit to make it a little softer. How? Let me redo this, remove this out of the way. So I would say, hey, Stefan, thanks for the update. Just FYI, you're expected to finalize the deviation summaries before the QA review. So could you please prioritize those today? Here, what I did is I added just FYI or something to that effect. That has an effect of softening up the request or the notification a bit. FYI, for your information, you're expected to finalize the deviation summaries or logs as well. Now let's look at the next section, which is be obligated to. Let me remove clear out my drawings and close this up. I'll use my Apple preview annotation tools. Make it small. So be obligated to. Again, same structure, main verb. Hey, so Emily, just so you know, you're obligated to report any qualifying deviations according to regulatory thresholds. So could you please double check yesterday's findings? Again, using FYI, just to let you know, as you already know. That can also be a really nice one, as you might already know. We learned this in previous lessons. So as you already know, as you may well know. Okay. Or also you can say it's something nice. We use this a lot in the US. Just a friendly reminder would be a nice one too to put it. Let's delete this line and expand this so that it can be seen and change your opacity. There we go. Oh, that's a little too big. Let's put it here. So let's come back to the next one. Be mandated to. Subject plus be plus mandated to plus main verb. Hey, good afternoon, Johannes. Hey, good afternoon, Johannes. Johannes, the department was mandated to revise the SOP after the inspection. So let's make sure the new version is routed by Friday. So this again delivers it in a friendly way. Let me say it again so you can focus on my pronunciation. I'll speak slower now so that you can focus on my stress. Good afternoon, Johannes. How are you? How was your weekend? Good, good, good. And then you keep talking and then you say, hey, Johannes, I'm not sure if you already know this, but the department was mandated to revise the SOP after the inspection. So can we please make sure? So let's make sure. Would you please make sure the new version is routed by Friday? We have different options we can use. Could you please make sure? Would it be possible? We can say, could you please make sure also as an option here. Let's put it down here. Apple's annotation tools sometimes just really don't work. Come on, Apple. It just doesn't work. Okay, so the next one is be accountable for or be responsible for. Now remember, because we have for here, this changes the structure. We no longer can use a to plus infinitive. We switch to nouns or gerunds. Gerunds are verb ing. They're also nouns. So technically, we're still using nouns. So here, subject plus be plus accountable or responsible for plus noun plus verb ing. So, hey Sarah, as documentation managers, we're responsible for maintaining version control accuracy across all controlled files. So it's really important for us to focus on, and then you deliver the request. Let me say it again. Yes, and then imagine, by the way, this isn't just you talking to them immediately into the meeting. Like that would be kind of jarring or like sudden. So obviously this would come midway through the conversation and you'd say, hey, Sarah, so as documentation managers, we're responsible for maintaining version control accuracy across all control files. So it's really important for us to double check and make sure that we revise the SOP after inspection, something to that effect. Let's go to the next section. It is essential, critical, imperative. Imperative, I would say, and critical are higher intensity than essential. If I were to grade, I would maybe put essential here, and then I'd put like imperative, and maybe I'd do critical at the highest level. And the degree differences is like not really that significant, but again, it's the connotation of the feeling of a sentence more than the denotation. Or maybe I would say the denotation also has a difference as well. You remember connotation and denotation from our lessons. So it plus is plus essential or critical or imperative plus to plus the main verb. So we look at this second sentence. Hey, Daniel, it's critical to maintain a complete audit trail. So could you please ensure that every audit is properly logged before submission? Let me say it again. Hey, Daniel, it's critical to maintain a complete audit trail. So could you please ensure that every audit is properly logged before submission? This is my serious tone. Now we can soften it up by going less serious. This is how I would do it. Hey, Daniel, so it's critical to maintain a complete audit trail. So could you please ensure every audit is properly logged before submission? I toned it down a little bit. I sped up and spoke a little bit faster, which changes the intensity of the sound and how I convey my meaning. Let's go to the next section. Have no choice but to. This, again, same structure. Have, subject plus have plus no choice but to. Again, this shows restriction, and so that your hands are tied. The example is, hey, Anna, we had no choice but to delay the submission until the final approvals came in. So let's update the tracker accordingly. Okay, or for example, hey, Anna, we had no choice but to revise the SOPs because of copious amounts of errors that we found in the documentation. And so we need to go back and have another meeting to make sure we chart a new way for this procedure to take place for the next quarter. Now let's come back to the next one. Be obliged to. Subject plus be plus obliged to plus main verb. Good morning, Ben. Ben, just a reminder, we're obliged, depends on how you want to word it. Sometimes you have to be very direct. Again, as I reminded you before, you're working with non-native speakers in your department, I know. So because of that effect, if we say we're, as an American, I know you're talking to me as a manager. But if I'm talking to a non-native speaker, and I've worked before in different countries in Turkey and other places, I know not everybody is going to understand that I'm actually politely addressing them directly. And so in this case, if it's an international audience and that person's proficiency of English is not really that high, I would just be very direct and I would say, hey, good morning, Ben. Just a friendly reminder, you're obliged to notify all stakeholders about tomorrow's downtime. So could you please send the communication or communique or the email before noon or whatever? Let me know if you have any questions. I'll see you on Monday. Bye. Oh, one more thing. I'll upload this also to Scientia, so you'll have a link for it in Unit 4B's links, so you'll find it there.